Hey everyone, I'm Lauren, and today we're talking about optimizing your online events for infinite impact. And I am going to focus primarily on online events because that's my area of expertise. So that's primarily what I do in my business, but all of this can be adapted or applied to in-home events or Lemongrass Live events. So take the information, adapt it as it fits your business. So when we talk about a successful online event, the first thing most people think of is PV because PV is great. That's how you get host rewards for your host. That's how you get a paycheck. And that's awesome. But where do you go from there after that event? You've got PV, then what? So there's sort of two different scenarios here. If you have an event and you focus on the more infinite aspects, the parts of your business that can increase your relationships, increase your customer base, then you are more likely to see future success and it has infinite impact on your business. So if you've made new connections, then you've got new customers. You've got more people in your customer group. That results in more future orders as well as potential referrals. It also gives you a greater pool of people to build relationships with who may in the future want to have their own online event or even potentially join your team. So you can see how that could affect your business infinitely because you have a party with someone, you meet more people, they book, they join your VIP group, they may join, and from all of those people, it goes on and on. The other alternative is you have an event, you don't really make any connections, you focus on just sharing the products and getting your host some orders, you don't get people into your customer group, you don't try to book any parties, you don't share the opportunity with anybody, then the event sort of stands alone. So here we're going to talk about how we want to optimize it because that second option doesn't sound as great as the first, right? So when we're talking about optimizing an event, there are a few key things that I like to focus on. The first one is coaching and supporting your host because your host is crucial, the most important person in any event that you have. The second is making sure that you're aiming to get bookings from that event. And the third is making sure that you're sharing and offering the opportunity. As for coaching and supporting the host, if you want the guests to be at the event and you want to get people excited, if you want to have other bookings or potential team members, you need your host's help. Regarding getting bookings at the event, I always focus on securing at least two. You can set whatever kind of goal you want. And it doesn't always happen, and that's fine. But I'm very intentional about putting in the effort and keeping that in the back of my mind throughout the event so that I have that infinite impact from the event. And then as far as offering the opportunity, this is crucial because many people, even though many people feel uncomfortable, there are a lot of different ways you can sprinkle it within your event and different ways you can be direct or passive in sharing the opportunity. But it's super important that people understand the possibility. So first, let's talk about the coaching and supporting the host. The first step in that is building the relationship. So after they book their event and before you send host mail and things like that, usually there's at least a couple of weeks in between. So leading up to the event, you're chatting with your host. Get to know them, get to know more about their life, share about yourself, talk about the things that Lemongrass has brought into your life, sprinkle that into conversation. You're building trust. So it's the know, like, and trust that we hear about all the time. The more they know you, the more they'll like you, the more they'll trust you, and that leads to a strong relationship and loyal customers. So also when they trust you as your host, they will listen to the advice and guidance that you're going to give them. They'll also be more invested in the event success, not just for the fact that they'll get rewards, but also they like you and they want you to succeed as well. The next thing that I do is I send host mail. And this looks different for everybody's businesses. It depends on the resources you have, whether they're local or they're far away. For me, I mainly have customers that are around the United States, so I'm typically mailing it. But the first thing I like to do is ask them questions, create a customized sample bundle for them based on things they haven't tried yet, things that they would benefit from, things that you can tell they would enjoy based on knowing what scents they like, what they've already tried, any skin issues that they'd like to address, any family members in the house, like children, babies, teenagers, partners who might benefit from trying some products as well, getting their reviews. I just want to get them excited about them and to put things in their hand that they can share during the event. So they're going to be doing product reviews. This is part of my host coaching. You also want them to be adding to their wish list so they know how they want to spend the rewards they're about to earn. And you want them to be sharing their excitement with their guests. So receiving mail is always really exciting. And it also makes them feel taken care of and special, which is really important. So I include the samples. I always include a handwritten note, so it's personalized to them. And it basically explains like, I'm excited to hang out with you at your event. Here's some samples, try them all, take photos, prepare to share some reviews in your event, and we'll chat more about your event as it gets closer. Thanks so much for hosting, Lauren, something like that. I also like to include things like, little wedding bubbles or stickers, candy of some sort. Be sure it's not something that melts if it's warm outside. That's something I learned early on. I sometimes include a magnet that has my logo, just different fun things. It could even be a pen with the wish list, things like that. And then if possible, when you're doing that, ask your host if they have local guests that they plan on inviting that would potentially like to look at a catalog, because I'm sending one catalog for the host, but I can include more catalogs. And if they're certain someone is definitely going to buy, but might want to try some things first, I also send some extra samples, and that you can feel out. You definitely don't want, if you don't know them that well, I don't like to send too much, and I don't necessarily know if they are going to share those samples. So you just have to, use your best judgment, decide what you have to offer in the way of resources, and what kind of risk you want to take with that. So then I've sent them their mail, and now I want to prepare them for their job, because they do have a huge role. I don't like to say it's super easy, I'll take care of everything, because that's not true. Their role is more important than yours. People want to attend this event to support them, and they know them better than you. They're there to hear what the host has to say. Look, I can share all kinds of factual information and personal reviews and things like that, but they don't know me. So that has some limited value. So in the host pack, I like to include a little sheet that sort of explains what to expect, has a little wish list so they can see I include the host rewards, so they could see the rewards, sort of plan a goal, and then plan how they might want to spend that, just get them thinking and dreaming about their list. I like to include a printout of the current month specials so they know about those. And I like to make sure they understand to invite people wisely. I say this to them as well, but any kind of packet you want to give them so they can read through it, then you can check in and be like, did you get a chance to look at everything in there? Do you have any questions? I then prepare them by chatting with them some more and saying, I'm creating your event, whether I do Facebook events or Messenger events. So those are like group chats, and those are different lengths, and that's sort of decided with the host what they think their people will like. But once it's time to invite people, I tell them, 15 to 30 people is a goal. You want to make sure you ask people first, you invite them. I like to use the example, if you were having a party in your home, you wouldn't just grab your friends out of their house and put them and bring them to yours. You would ask them if they want to come and make sure that they're interested in coming before, they enter your home. So you want to make sure that the people who are there want to be there. No one feels kidnapped. And then, mass inviting doesn't make those guests feel important. If they see, oh, I'm one of 100 people, this person won't notice if I interact, and they didn't specifically invite me. They just invited everybody they know. So that kind of diminishes the impact of the invite. And it reduces engagement, which means that if you're doing it in a group, people will see your post less. Not ideal. And then the last thing I like to do with my hosts is build their confidence. So they need to feel confident. Let them know they're not alone. You're there with them. Any questions they have, they can ask you, that you'll be checking in daily. You can give them daily tasks or challenges to complete to make sure that they're engaging in the event. You can offer a gift if they do a number of things. I have usually like 5 things. It includes like posting on your personal timeline in case there's anybody who didn't invite that might want to come, sharing reviews, sharing your wish list, welcoming guests as they arrive, and sometimes like assisting and helping me book other future events and getting a gift for that. So I define their role. You're going to be inviting people. You're going to be engaging and commenting on all of the posts in the event. Even if you can only drop in once a day, drop in, interact, chat with your guests as though they were in your home, and just get people excited. And then I also reassure them. Your guests want to hear from you. They're there because they want to hear what you think. So, there's no such thing as too many reviews. And if you can include photo or video, that's even better, because that catches people's attention and makes the event more engaging. So that was section number 1. The second section is about booking events. So if you want to have infinite impact, getting future events creates that branch. It's like 6 degrees of separation. So I always remember that our host program is the ultimate referral system. So a great host who makes everything look fun and pretty easy will help you book more events. So here are some ways that you can do that. You want to be paying attention to who's engaged, who's interacting, which guests seem excited about the products and are participating in the posts. Make sure you're highlighting the host rewards in the event so people know how this works and can see that there's a benefit to hosting. You get free stuff. I like to use private messages as often as I can. So I create opportunities for people to win things, whether it's product credit or customized samples, and then let them know I'm going to private message them and chat. That helps me begin a relationship with them. It helps me ask more questions about, their needs and see if they need any customized help. And it also tells Facebook that we are friends. We want to talk to each other, and shows them more of my posts. That's a nice side effect. I also post after the event to thank everybody and showcase the host rewards again, encourage them to share their items once they are received. And that helps, me remember I should already have written down that I'm going to follow up with them, but this is a nice reminder and a way to publicly ask them what they're liking and things like that. It also sort of subtly promotes, if the host shares their rewards, this is another promotion for our host reward system. And I enlist my host. So I say, if we get 2 bookings from your event, I'm going to send you an extra gift and give you $5 credit to spend at those guests' events. That helps them help you identify who might be a good host. And it guarantees those hosts, they'll have at least one guest. And then I personally ask for bookings. So this is the direct part. I will reach out directly to everyone who's engaging and participating, thanking them for coming. Or if they've said something about, I wanted so many things, I only got this much because I'm on a budget, you have an opening to say, hey, you have the opportunity to host. Would you be interested in doing that? I'll be with you every step of the way. And it'll also help get you extra entries in our giveaway, and it helps your host earn extra rewards from me. So it gives you an opportunity to pitch that. But the personal ask, even if people aren't expressing much interest in the event, the personal ask can still result in many bookings. You really don't know until you have those personal conversations. And then I also use a Google form. So at some point during an event, I'll say, fill this out for extra entries. And it has questions about their preferences and things in case they win a prize. It also asks them if they'd like more information on hosting, and if they'd like more information on joining my team or learning more about what it's like. I don't say joining my team, learning more about what it's like to be a lemongrass consultant or making some extra money. Would you be interested in learning more about making some extra money with Lemongrass Spa? Something like that. Be sure that in this event also, you give several opportunities to get people over into your customer group, because that's how they're going to continue to see things in the future. Whether it's personally asking them to head on over and also posting in the event, both work really well, especially in tandem. Make sure you're personally asking people if you notice they didn't join during. You can pitch. I'll have promotions, specials, giveaways, self-care tips, product reviews. Just let them know what the benefit is to joining. So speaking of the opportunity, including the business opportunity in your event is necessary. It doesn't have to feel awkward. I like to do it mostly passively because these people don't know me yet. I like to include information about the starter kit in the host package. So my host is going to be exposed to the opportunity to join, whether the host does it through host rewards or on their own. This gives me a chance to check in and say, did you have any questions? I included a little bit of join information. Do you have any questions about that? I share my why during the event, so my host and the guests get to hear a little bit about my journey with Lemongrass Spa and what being a consultant has done for me. So they get to hear like little seeds about like, oh, that could be me. I could gain those things. I'd love to have community. I'd love to be able to have a little extra cash. I love being able to share natural products with people I care about. And then I also like to post the starter kit and the launch pack options near the end of the event, just so that, again, you're planting seeds about the options that are available with images and details, and an opportunity for them to ask more questions. I explain how easy it is to join. I mention the amount of support they'll get from me and my team and, my sponsors team. And I like to also make sure that they understand that asking questions will get them more points and giveaways. So that helps them think of questions, gets them thinking about the joining opportunity. And then again, like I said before, I include the question about whether they'd like to learn more about the opportunity in the Google form or Jot form that I share with them, so they can express curiosity without feeling pressure or like feeling awkward approaching you. Some guests might not even realize Lemongrass Spa is direct sales. Some people, believe it or not, don't even really know much about direct sales still, and they don't know that they have an option to join. They don't know that necessarily that they have an option to do what you're doing. So planting that seed can lead to future conversations with potential team members that wouldn't have happened otherwise. So those are the three main things I like to focus on to have an infinite impact. It's all about relationships. It's all about the potential that each relationship has in the future for building friendships, for getting people in a customer group, hosting, potentially joining your team. So the last thing I want to talk about is just embodying what it is to be a Lemongrass Spa consultant. Throughout all of this, everything you do and say is showing people what it's like to be a Lemongrass Spa consultant, and what it's like to host with you, what it's like to hang out with you. So if you're wanting to build relationships, get more hosts, and have people interested in joining your team, you want to be showing them how fun it is to be part of the company and how simple your job is. Ultimately, it's sharing what you love and having a good time. And they're getting an idea for just a feel for you and the company. So, no matter what, just be gracious, continue building the relationships, even if people say no to questions you ask, even if people don't want to purchase, but do join your customer group. No often means not right now. So you don't need to throw out the potential for future growth or infinite impact. Just keep building your relationships. Some people need a deeper relationship before they feel comfortable going for hosting or joining, obviously. So you can revisit those conversations in the future and engage with everyone as though they're your next host or your teammate. You don't know, so don't prejudge. I feel like a lot of times the best team members were people who were skeptical about direct sales or have too much on their plate and they seem so busy. So don't count anyone out. Represent the brand well, converse about these opportunities to host and join with everybody, give positive vibes, just make sure that their association with you is self-care, happiness, fun. The more they want to be around you, the more they're going to recommend you to others. And, so by following these strategies, it will optimize your events for infinite impact. It'll make sure that every event leads to more connections, which could lead to more opportunities to grow your business and your customer group. Let me know if you have any questions, drop them down below, and I'll talk to you again soon.